everyone, happy new year, or whenever you're watching this. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. I'm Nikki. Please subscribe if you like these kind of videos. I'm going to be doing so many more of these. Today's video is going to be how to actually glow up in this new year. We are going to be on our game. These are going to be tangible tips for you to actually achieve your goals. Realistic things that you can genuinely do to feel more confident, feel like the best version of yourself, that don't seem so incredibly difficult and out of your norm. The key is to set yourself up for success and do things that you actually think you're going to be able to achieve versus setting goals for yourself that are so out there and so difficult that you're going to get discouraged if you don't achieve them, because who could achieve some of these things that people put on their goal list? I broke these all up into categories, so without further ado, let's get into our first category. So for our physical health, glow up body, I know this is such a kind of buzzword and like big topic around the new year. And I just want to say you don't need to lose weight or change yourself in order to be happy in the new year. But if you do want to get more healthy, to get more fit, to get in better shape, feel like a more confident, better you, there's also nothing wrong with that. And I'm right here with you. We want to use this spurt of motivation to our advantage, because let me tell you, girlfriend, it's not going to last all year. It might, but doesn't always. First thing we want to do is find a realistic workout that you genuinely don't hate. I'm not saying love, because right off the bat, you might not love it, but something you can tolerate and you can do every day that's realistic for you. You don't want to be setting yourself up for failure saying you're going to go to cycling class every single day or 5 times a week when you've never done that before, or when you work a 9-to-5 job. You're going to be exhausted some days after work, and that's just not going to be worth it for you. What you can say is, I'm going to hit 10,000 steps. I'm going to get myself a walking pad, and after I'm done cooking dinner, while I'm watching TV and I'm watching Housewives, I'm going to walk on my walking pad. And maybe it's not 10,000 steps right away. Maybe it's 5,000 steps when you're used to doing 500 steps. You know, like, we need to start small, and we need to start with a workout or a way to move our bodies, even if it's stretching, even if it's yoga, which not even, yoga's challenging, but anything that you feel like you can actually do for the foreseeable future that you enjoy or don't hate. Next is to stop constantly switching up your routine. I feel like because of social media, we think that we need to always be jumping to the next thing. This isn't cool anymore, so I need to do this. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think it's wonderful if you want to do different workouts every day and you actually enjoy that, and it's something that keeps you motivated, keeps you energized, keeps you passionate about it, by all means. But if you just feel like you need to constantly be switching shit up just so that way you can keep up with the trends, or because you think it's the best way to work out, your body's going to be like, what the heck are we doing here? And it's so hard to measure progress, get really good at something, or improve your physical fitness when you're constantly switching things up. Next, as I've already mentioned, walking, 10,000 steps, all of that, game changer. If you want to start somewhere and you've never really worked out, or you don't really love working out, game changer. Honestly, if you just put on your favorite YouTube videos or a TV show, or just save your scrolling for when you're walking, going outside, getting fresh air, or if you hate that and it's freezing cold like where I live right now, walk on a treadmill. It's honestly amazing, and you don't feel any stress. You can go about your day. It's just amazing. Like, walking is amazing. It's low impact, it's easy on your body, and you will transform. Not only physically, but your mental health will improve so much just by moving your body more. Next is making sure you're having a quality source of protein with every meal. I just think it's a good rule of thumb. It's not gonna happen every time. Sometimes you might just want mac and cheese for dinner, but maybe add a little piece of grilled chicken in there, or throw in some meatballs. Every time that you sit down to have a meal or a snack, you're thinking about, can I add some protein to this? And I think that's so important with thinking about adding things in versus taking away. It's a way more sustainable way to kind of eat healthier, is let me add some protein to this. Let me add a healthy fat. Let me add some vegetables and some fruits to this meal that I already want. You know, so you can still eat the things that you want, but then you're also filling up on these other amazing things that are actually going to be really good for you, while still indulging in the things that you like, but maybe in a smaller quantity. I think that's one of the biggest things. One of my biggest takeaways is, like, I don't restrict myself from the things that I really want, that are just good for the soul and good for the taste buds, and things that I know are not necessarily the healthiest thing, but I really want them. But I will also eat all of the healthy things and have like a little bit of the thing that's maybe not so good for me. You know, not every time. Sometimes I'll just eat the mac and cheese and say screw it to everything. But if you're doing that consistently, it can totally make you feel not so great on the inside, and maybe the outside too. Next is hair. Hair is something that for me was such a struggle for so long. My hair has been through it all, and I currently have extensions, but my goal with these guys is to essentially grow out my hair to the length of these extensions, if not a little bit shorter, and then take them out. These are hand-tied wefts, so you don't need to get extensions in order to feel confident, but if you want to, pop off. But what I kind of want to do while I have these hair extensions in is take really good care of my actual hair. I have been taking Nutrafol, I've been taking hair supplements, I've been drinking collagen, I've been drinking bone broth, I have been doing hair treatments, doing masks and hair oiling and massaging my scalp and brushing my hair really gently where I start at the bottom and I work my way up, trying not to break it, doing more heatless hairstyles, just overall like taking really good care of your hair, because I think something that works in our favor as women is our hair. I don't know, something about it when you have good hair, it doesn't even matter what you look like your hair is just, it just does something for me. Like I just feel like that makes you, I know it sounds silly and vain, but like I just love a good head of hair. We're taking care of our hair in 2024, ladies, and we're not bleaching it every 5 minutes. We're going maybe twice a year to get our hair dyed. We can add a gloss, we can add a little bit of like a glaze, a little something, but we're not bleaching our hair 24/7, okay? If we don't need to. If we're not already blonde, babe, I promise you, your natural hair color is just fine. I promise you. You're gonna look back and you're gonna say, dang, my natural hair color was actually nice back when my hair was healthy, okay? So just don't do it. Also exploring with different kind of heatless hairstyles, buns, claw clips, braids, like all of those heatless curling methods nowadays that people do, the sock buns. Like there are so many ways to protect your hair and still look cute and put together. I think hair is one of the key components to looking put together, but it is not worth frying off your hair in order to look put together, because that doesn't look put together, you know? Next category is skin. So important. This actually should have, I don't know, well, is it above physical health? Probably not. Well, it's kind of tied in. Anyways, skin is so important. I have had my bouts of skin struggles. Let me tell you, I used to have crazy cystic acne scars, you name it, bumps, everything. Now that I've gotten my skin under control, I think just putting a quality skincare routine, again, something you can stick to. I just got my fiance on a skincare routine. I gave him a simple cleanser, a gentle cleanser, a hyaluronic acid, or something like a moisturizing serum, maybe a vitamin C you could start with, and then a good moisturizer. You don't need to go crazy. You don't need to try a million products. Again, same thing with the workout routines. Stop switching up your skincare 24/7. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like stop trying all these new products constantly. I know we live in such a consumer society where we think we need to try everything under the sun. With skincare, we don't need to. We really don't. If you feel like, okay, yeah, my skin could use a little extra oomph with, you know, correcting some dark spots I have or whatever, then yes, go in search of those types of products that will help you with that. But if you're not experiencing any particular issues, just find something that is a staple that you can use every single day, morning and night. Maybe you have a morning routine and a night routine, I do, that you can actually stick to and not get too lazy to use, because there's 10 different steps in it. You don't need 10 different steps unless you really want them. Something that I'm personally going to be doing, especially because my wedding is coming up in like 8 months, is I'm going to be starting to get monthly facials and facial treatments and all of that. I really want to try a laser treatment. I want to do hydrofacials. These are all extra things. You absolutely do not need to spend your money on this, but if you have the means or you want to, it could be something fun and non-invasive and just, you know, a little extra oomph, a little extra boost for your skin. Again, not necessary, not something you have to do, but could be fun. My tip, if you don't want to spend the money on that, another thing I'm going to be doing is weekly or bi-weekly at-home facials. So, you know, if you can get a steamer, one of those steamers off Amazon, or literally boil a pot of water and put your face over it to open up your pores, and then do a nice face mask and use all of your serums and really like give yourself a good facial massage. Use all your gua shes, and if you have a new face, have a new face. But if you don't, I honestly love using my hands to do a facial massage. I have a video on my TikTok if you guys want to watch it. It's so simple to just use your fingers, completely free, put on your serums, and then start going at it. Make yourself, just pamper yourself at home and really invest time into yourself when it comes to your skin, and also body care. we're not skimping on the body care. We're doing body oils, we're doing an in-shower oil, we're doing an in-shower body scrub, we're doing a body lotion, like scented, unscented, body glitter. I just bought the Tom Ford. I know it's not necessary to buy all that extra shit. I actually have the time and the means to do it, so I want to. But even just committing to a body lotion or a body oil after the shower every single day. It's not that hard, but you want to be taking care of the skin on your body, because when you think about it, as we're getting older, that's part of aging well and feeling good and feeling confident, like moisturizing and feeling hydrated and using all those nice products on our body as well. It's one of my biggest compliments that I always get is that I have really soft skin. Humble brag, but it's because I just genuinely moisturize and I try not to dry my skin out. That's it. That's literally all I do. Nothing else. Maybe genetics, but. Next we have becoming cooler, more well-rounded, kind of establishing a hobby for yourself and branching out and doing things that you maybe wouldn't normally do. I think that's such a part of glow up, is like internal glow up and really liking yourself as a person. Like I said, finding a hobby could be really cool and something really fun, whether that be exploring new recipes, learning how to cook really well, or learning how to bake, or taking up floral arrangement design, starting to thrift more, or maybe you're like my fiance where you're really into old film and collecting records, or you really get into a certain genre of music and you just kind of know a lot about a certain topic and you do your research and you're really passionate about something. I think there is something so cool and so sexy about a person who has a passion and who really is into something. It can be something that you maybe think is silly, even if it is something like skincare, where you get really knowledgeable on the topic and it becomes kind of a passion side thing for you. I think that's awesome, and I think that it really takes the focus off of your external and places more on your internal and what you genuinely place value in on the inside, which is the best glow up you could possibly have. Next is wellness. We're sticking to a sleep schedule. We are. I'm sorry, you got to. 8 to 10 hours of sleep. For the ladies especially. If you can't do this, if you work different hours or, you know, whatever, try your best. I know it's easy for me to say, like, you know, I can sleep 8 to 10 hours and then just adjust my work day for the next day, but just try to stick to a similar schedule every single day with what you're eating, how you're eating, workouts, with your sleep schedule. Next for me is something a little more fun: dry brushing, lymphatic drainage, sauna, facial massage, all of that, like just the lymphatic drainage of it all. I think that's something I really want to get into this year. My trainer, Rachel, was obsessed with it and she was so knowledgeable about it and had so many different tools and hacks and tricks that she used in order to kind of just remove toxins and water weight and all of that. It's not necessarily like you have to do this, but it's something fun that I'm going to be trying out, and a lot of people swear by it and say there are so many health benefits and you just feel so good and all of that. Next, we're drinking water with electrolytes. Not just water, not just, oh, I'm gonna drink a gallon of water, with electrolytes. You can put Celtic salt, you can put, I use those little element packets, so you can use any of them. This is not an ad, I literally pay for them, but you need to be drinking water and you need to be putting electrolytes in your water, because if you're just having water, sometimes you don't feel properly hydrated. You're like, I'm drinking all this water and I still feel tired, I still feel dehydrated. It's because there's no electrolytes in your water, so you're not properly hydrating yourself the way that you should be. And next is kind of counterintuitive, but it's don't over supplement. Either get a blood test or focus on the things that you feel like you need help in. Like if you feel like you have bloating and you don't particularly have any food intolerances, maybe try a probiotic and see if that works for you. But don't overly supplement with things and try to do a bunch of pills that you don't actually need. Again, it's that over consumerism where I used to do this. I would buy every pill under the sun that I heard somebody talk about. And I didn't even have a problem with this thing, but I would prescribe myself these supplements and be like, well, I need to be taking this. It's literally just a waste of money. It wouldn't do anything to me. And if anything, I think it just made things worse. I would try to go the food route and use food as medicine. Like if you're having bloating, instead of going straight to a pill, think about, maybe can I add some more sauerkraut or kimchi or kombucha or kefir, like something that would help my gut. Let me go try that first and then maybe try a probiotic and then maybe see a doctor, or see a doctor first. But moral of the story, don't over supplement. You don't need every single pill that is out there on the market. This one is king. I keep saying everyone is so important, but these are all so important. And I'm sorry if this is overwhelming, but mental health, oh my God. Like if you are not doing well mentally, it does not matter if your skin is glowing. It does not matter if your body's tea. It does not matter if your closet is iconic. Like if you're not doing well mentally, none of that matters. So we're finding a way to manage our stress this year. I'm not saying eliminate stress. There's always like, you know, people say, oh, stress causes this and that. We need to stop stressing. We need to remove our stress. That's simply never gonna happen, because as much as you can try to be like, I'm gonna be a more zen person, I'm gonna calm down, you know, I'm gonna find ways to manage my stress, there are going to be things inevitably in life that will unfortunately stress us out. We can change our attitude towards it, we can change our outlook, we can change our coping mechanisms, but can we change the stressors in life? Sort of, but not always. Managing our stress, finding different ways that maybe aren't going out and getting blackout drunk, eating a family-sized bag of Doritos, getting into a fight with your loved ones, the things that we kind of tend to do when we're stressed out. Instead, let's make lists of things that we can do that are a positive thing when we get stressed out. Journaling, taking a hot everything shower, going for a long walk, watching your favorite TV show, building a puzzle, I don't know, whatever it is, like find the things that make you happy, and when you're doing them, you can kind of take your mind off of it. For me, it was hot yoga. Like I realized that as much as I didn't like hot yoga at first, I did not think about anything besides the task at hand the entire time. I couldn't think about anything besides I'm so hot and sweaty and I don't know what any of these poses are. And at first you think like, actually that's frustrating and it's gonna cause me more stress. No, because you're not thinking about any of the other stressors in your life. Another thing for me is podcast walks. So I would go on a walk, I would listen to these podcasts, and it doesn't have to be like informational. These would be like chit chat girly podcasts, me listening to other girls and guys vent about their life and just talk about whatever while I'm going on a walk. And I just loved that. It was such a, like, it took me out of my own stress and my own reality. It kind of gave me this little outlet of like, oh, I can just listen to these people bitch about their life instead. Next, I'm going to be reading 1 book per month. This was my goal last year. I only read like 8 books and most of it was during 75 Hard. So I kind of slacked on my reading and I really want to get into more books. And the books that I read are usually nonfiction just because I watch so much trash TV. I want to actually educate myself when I read books, but if you want to read fiction books, that's awesome too. Next thing is journal daily. Journaling has changed my life, and even if you just get a 5-minute journal. I have a 5-minute journal. I use it every day. I've been using it since 2020. Like, I love my 5-minute journal. I'm a 5-minute journal stan. No 5-minute journal slander on this page, but I also have in my laptop a word dump where I can type a lot faster than I can write. Sometimes when I'm frustrated or I want to get something out on paper, even if it's virtual, I will type out a word dump onto a Google Doc and it feels so therapeutic and so cathartic. I'm telling you, if you've never tried it, it sounds silly sometimes, but just give it a go. And lastly, we're limiting toxic people, toxic activities, toxic environments, anything where you leave that feeling like not so great. We don't want that. We don't need that. Again, instead of taking out, we're gonna be adding in. So we just simply don't have time for those things anymore because we are adding in so many other things. Think about all the stuff I just talked about. How the heck are you gonna have time for all of that? Finding a new hobby and working on your skincare and your fitness and reading books when you are filling your time with toxic ass people. Because you're not. We're changing our priorities, okay? Think about your highest you, your best version of yourself, every time you're about to do something. Would this person hang out with them? Would this person, your highest you, do this activity? Would this person, your highest you, behave in this way and go through life that way? Because I'm telling you, you're gonna be changing a lot of things. Next is fashion. I have made it a point to myself to not fall into every trend this year and to go to the beat of my own drum. I've been doing this for a while. Like when people said skinny jeans were out, I was still tucking them into my boots. When people said Victoria's Secret pink was out, I was still rocking those sweatpants. Like Juicy Couture, all that. I don't care. That's my vibe and I'm gonna stick with it. And now all that stuff's coming back in and I'm like, you know what, whatever, period. But we don't have to follow every single trend. Yes, there are some where I'm like, oh, that's so cute, I'm gonna rock that. But like there's some things where you just don't need to buy into every single trend, especially if it's doesn't suit your personal style. And another thing is establishing a personal style. At least even if you don't have one particular aesthetic, wearing things every day that make you feel good, that make you feel confident. If one day you want to be girly and the next day you want to be more street style, and there is no reason why you can't do that. I don't mean you need to find one aesthetic and stick to it. If you want to, by all means, it would actually probably make a capsule wardrobe and like your life a lot easier, but you don't have to do that. But just finding pieces every single day that make you feel good is so key. A few years ago, I made it a point to myself and a goal for myself that every single day in some sort of way I want to make myself feel more put together. Whether that be doing my hair, throwing on a little bit of makeup, putting on, even if I want to be lazy, a cute sweat set or a cute workout outfit or whatever, something that makes me feel good about myself. Because if I feel like a schlumpy dumpster, I am not going to feel confident, I'm not going to be productive, I am just going to overall be in a worse mood. And maybe that sounds vain, but it's the darn truth, okay? That goes for cute pajamas and the headbands and the socks and the slippers and things that I wear around my house when it's literally just me and my dog. I don't care. I want to look cute 24/7. If that's a crime, lock me up. Lock me up. Putting effort into yourself, I promise you, if you're not doing this already, it's a game changer. And it signifies to yourself, to your brain, to you as a person that you're worth that effort. You don't have to go out and spend a ton of money on all new stuff. It literally could be anything that will make you feel just like even 10% more put together. Just literally putting your hair up in a ponytail and brushing the bumps out. Like, it's not that deep. You don't need to go above and beyond and get new pajama sets and like monogram everything. But just putting in that effort, your brain keeps count of all those times that you signify to yourself, I'm worth this effort. I'm gonna put in that extra 5 minutes every single day and just pull myself together, even if it's just for me. And then lastly, quality pieces, investment pieces. Again, doesn't have to be $1 million, can literally be the one investment piece you pick out for that season, or it can be investing in really good basics. Maybe you wanna get like a couple just t-shirts and tanks that you can wear every week and rotate them and just have really good quality basics that will last you for longer than just the season. Our final category is financial. This is something that's really important to me as I enter my late 20s. I'm looking to buy a home. I'm saving money for all these things. I'm hopefully planning for a family at some point. There's no better time like the present. Let me just tell you that. Again, we're going to make this realistic. You're not going to tell yourself you're going to save $50,000 that year when you're making $50,000 total for the year. You can dream big, be Delulu, pop off, but I want you to start, especially if you're not really in the saving mindset or you haven't been before, I want you to start small. Tell yourself you're going to save $50 a month or you're going to save $100 a month. Whatever it is, something that's realistic to you based on your income, based on what your trajectory was financially in the past, something that you think is a sustainable goal. As you get in that momentum and as you start saving and putting things away and you realize like, oh wow, this is cool, like I'm actually doing something and it's growing and whatever, then you can start kind of investing, or you might want to start looking into a financial advisor, or you might want to save a little bit more every month. Like you might want to put it into a certain kind of savings account. Like these are all things you can look into and do and become more financially literate after you start small. Again, we're talking small, tangible things that you can do that are not gonna overwhelm you. You don't wanna be like, holy crap, I can't do this. And there are so many free resources online. You don't need to hire somebody right off the bat, like especially if you're just trying to save a couple $100s every single month. You can go online, go on TikTok, go on YouTube, just literally Google articles on the best methods for saving, the best methods for spending your paycheck, and how to go about being smarter with your finances. There are so many resources out there that can help you. There's actually one in particular. It's actually somebody I've met in person years before she started doing this, but she is a TikToker called Maggie Sellers. She kind of created her own like catchphrase, hot, smart, rich girls. That's exactly what we're gonna be, is hot, smart, rich girls. So she is a great example of somebody that I would follow for financial literacy. She's an investor. She talks about budgeting. Like she's just iconic. There's plenty of people like that can help you out. With all that said, I know that was a lot. If you've stuck around to the end, I love you. I have faith in you. I think this is gonna be our year. We're gonna pop off. We are going to be the baddest, hottest, smartest, richest, coolest, best versions of ourselves. We're not competing with each other. We're competing with last year's version of yourself. I love you guys. I'm proud of you. Let's effing kill this year.
So